Rampage! Shout out to everyone who got that reference. Hey everyone, it's me, Aaron.
I'm Michelle.
And this is our own little monster who decided to get a bundle of energy inside of her the moment we start recording. But yes, this is our post-Geekout reaction for Rampage. And for anybody who has not seen a post-Geekout reaction before, it's not really a review, it's more just a discussion between us about the thing that we did watch, and that does include full spoilers. But does anyone really care about spoilers on this one?
It's pretty basic.
This is the most cookie cutter ass, like, storyline and characters and oh my, jeez.
Of course the wolf flies.
Yes. That's good. Okay. I'm still processing this one because we have had movies based on Tomb Raider, Prince of Persia, Assassin's Creed, and quite possibly the first good video game movie, quite possibly, not a definite, it's arguable, but quite possibly the first good video game movie is the one based on Rampage. And let me just go ahead and say, I know people are like, you thought this movie was good? Not in the traditional sense of storytelling,
but like
or
as far as
film, or characters.
Like,
but as she was about to say,
for like a popcorn flick, an action flick.
In terms of, was it entertaining?
Yeah.
Did I have a good time? Did I enjoy it? Yeah. It was a fun ass movie.
Yeah.
This was me coming out of the theater.
Woohoo!
Yeah, and that audience dug the hell out of this film. That audience was, man, we didn't see this in a movie theater. We saw this in a giant darkened out person's living room. Because someone in that theater was talking to the screen the whole time, but was like, who cares? This ain't a quiet place. Yeah, it's Rampage. And yeah, when people were like, no, George, I was like, yeah, no, George. So basically, real quick, what this movie is about starts off with this woman in space who is being attacked by a giant rat on a space station. She has to get these, like, containers full of some toxic chemical thing and gets onto the escape ship, and the escape ship blasts off, and the escape pod has been damaged, and she's looking at the cracked glass, and it's cracking, and she's like, no, no, and then it, like, explodes, and you see her get burnt to a crisp and erupted, and just an eruption of fire just takes her out, and I was looking at that like, oh god, this is not gonna be good. Cause this is Rampage. Why are you trying to be like all serious and dramatic and like, why are you burning people alive in the beginning of this? I was worried as soon as this film began. But goddamn it, The Rock is the savior of bad movies. That motherfucker is so charming. Because after this, it then cuts to The Rock. He is at the zoo that he works at, and he has an ape there who he knows sign language with, and he's good buddies with. And the ape is George. And yeah, the moment that you actually see like The Rock interacting with George, I was like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I like The Rock and George in this film. I mean, I understand me saying I like The Rock. I like The Rock in everything. The Rock is great. But I like George in here too. Like the connection that he has with George.
Yeah, it's like George is like very human. He has like actual personality.
He does.
Whereas like the other monsters, they're just like beasts that just want to tear shit up, basically.
Yeah,
but like
absolutely.
that's part of the fun, really. Like,
yeah, and
I mean that was why I enjoyed the video game in the first place. Like, holy crap, I get to play as like giant monster animals that get to tear up
exactly.
the
There was
town.
no fucking plot to Rampage.
There was no plot, so
like,
there's really no important plot to this one. It's just,
I think when they eventually made the sequel, Rampage 2, for the for Nintendo 64, I want to say it was on. It was on one of the Nintendo ones. But there was like a plot of like where aliens had to come down and like break another alien out of like Area 51, so they're going across the world to do that. But in the original, they weren't even aliens. Like George, Lizzie, and Ralph, they weren't even they weren't even aliens. There was no backstory on them. All you knew is that when you got defeated, you shrunk down to a normal human and you were naked. And you're like, oh no, and you ran off. So it's like, I guess it's a science experiment thing. I don't know. There's no backstory on this. But yeah, so that night, the chemicals that lady was trying to get, they fall down to the earth. They crash land in 3 different places. One crash lands out in, I think it was Iowa, Utah, something like that.
yeah, somewhere like...
Somewhere in the Midwest. and a wolf finds it. One crashes into George's pen, and he finds it. Another one crashes into a swamp, and an alligator eats it. That alligator, you don't need to worry about that. That alligator is forgotten for the rest of this film until the end of this movie.
I kind of felt like they were trying to like build him up, like make him like the big baddie.
That's the thing. He is the big bad at the end of this film, but they kept setting up the wolf all throughout this thing.
Yeah, I think that's like supposed to be like the red
herring, kind of.
Yeah,
I can understand
like, okay, like, oh, you think the wolf is gonna be the big baddie, but oh, hey, remember that alligator in the beginning? Surprise!
Yeah, and that alligator was dope.
Yeah, it was a badass.
Yes. So they each get sprayed with this chemical. It starts causing them to grow faster, and they start mutating in ways. And as the film goes along, this scientist lady who used to work for this evil corporation, but then when she found out they were doing evil stuff, she tried to steal all the info, got sent to prison because of it, and now she's trying to help The Rock with what's happening to George. She comes in and she explains that, okay, this is this chemical. It basically takes the genes of a dozen different animals and puts them in there. It's got the speed of a cheetah. It's got the growth rate of a blue whale. It's got the strength of a rhino beetle, I think it was. Basically, yeah, it's just mutating them to grow really big. That's all there is to this.
And like that's basically what happened to the rat on the spaceship.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, it's like you forgot to mention that, but it's like like they said like, oh, this chemical is too dangerous to be to experiment on Earth. That's why we put it in a spaceship, and that didn't go well.
That's why they're doing it up there. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, oops.
Man, that's a weird theme that's been going on, because the Cloverfield paradox is like, anytime you want to do dangerous science shit, you gotta take it into space now.
Yeah, but that doesn't really help either.
No. It also leads to kaijus in all of these, too, because it unleashed the Cloverfield monster. So basically, the rest of this film is George is growing bigger, and the scientist lady is trying to help The Rock, and The Rock wants to help and save his friend, and yeah, you do kind of get that sense of like the bond between them. But then when George eventually like breaks out of his jail cell, not jail cell, but like the place where they're keeping him. Yeah. They get picked up by this weird, mysterious government organization. They don't even say what the government organization is. Like when he's asked, he just goes, oh, I'm part of OGA. And The Rock's like, yeah, I know that other government agency. And I was like, oh, okay, that's probably a cute thing. But I was watching this and I was like, okay, it's kind of like an emotional little story between them. It's like, it's kind of dumb, but you know, it's enjoyable nonetheless. And then Negan shows up, and I know he's got a real name, but you all know him as Negan. The most uneven motherfucker on earth. I don't mean his acting, I mean no one can stand that dude up straight. The entire film, I just kept watching, it's just, oh, you didn't know about the 30-foot tall wolf? And it's just, for God's sake, do you have like a medical condition? The dude, it's not like he's always leaning in one angle. Just, oh, well, I guess we gotta go and talk to the other government agency guy. Well, you know, my grandpappy always had a saying that we assholes gotta stick together. It's like, someone just like prop him with a broom, like off camera, and like, it was just, I know it's not a big thing, but when you see it, when you see that that dude can never, in any single shot, stand straight up, it stands out to you. It was driving me nuts in this entire goddamn film. But he picks them up, and he's like, don't worry, we're gonna take good care of George. And like, he's carrying them along, he exposes the dark backstory of this scientist lady, and then when George goes nuts and is killing everyone on the plane, The Rock saves him, and that's when he's like, alright, I'm gonna team up with you and help you, because then they get picked up by the regular military, not the weird secret military that we never learned what he's actually a part of.
That was like secret government, not military, but...
Well, whatever.
Military, government, same thing.
I got news for you, honey. The military is the government. Yeah. The military is not a private contractor that we just hire out when we need wars. So the military ends up picking them up, and at that point they're, oh God, the Negan character is a cartoon. He is Yosemite Sam in this film. But the military guy, who's the one leading the force against the monsters, God, he is the flattest, most just basic ass, like, military stereotype.
Yosemite Sam, more like a McCree from Overwatch.
Oh, you're talking about Negan? No, yeah. But no, I'm on to a different character now. Like, the military guy, Linus, it is just like they just had a robot write him. It was like, run program military guy 3 and put it in there. Because every line out of his mouth is like, don't tell me how to run my operation. These monsters are dangerous and I'll take them out. How did you get into this room? Son of a bitch. Well, I'll be damned. Like, man, the dialogue in this thing is
just like a G.I. Joe action figure with like a button on the back, and it's just like...
It's the most basic... Don't get me wrong, everyone in this film, anytime that you're looking at it, it's like, it feels like somebody in the scene is going to say, all right, men. It's like, all right, men. All right, there we go. But this dude, it feels like he was just the most cookie cutter, basically. Like, we gotta have somebody in here who's gotta tell them that they can't go to the place so that they can then go to the place.
Yeah, and he filled the role,
so
I can't really complain about that. It's not like he was an important character.
No, he wasn't, but he was in here way more than what a basic ass character should be, because like, every time that I was like, yeah, well, he wasn't important, he's not gonna be in this again. Oh, he's back again in this. Like, he kept coming back.
Yeah.
So yeah. But that's the thing about this film. Okay. The bond between The Rock and George, alright, it's not bad. I'm kind of enjoying that. You kind of get a sense of George's personality. You kind of feel bad for the weird changes going on with him. But then all the supporting characters in here, like the supporting characters at the zoo that he works at, it's just, well, Rock, you know your entire backstory, ABC. Now audience knows, yeah, well, I know that I ABC'd. Right, audience? It's like, man, everybody at the zoo was the most basic ass character. The scientist lady isn't bad. She's alright.
Yeah.
She's got some backstory to her. Negan is a cartoon. The military guy's a cartoon. But the evil scientist.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. Not the good scientist, but the ones running the evil corporation.
Like, yeah, it's like, what was her name again? Like,
who gives a shit? That's the other thing. Like, yeah, nobody cares about it.
So, like, evil scientist lady and her dumb idiot brother.
Which, man, again, it feels like this should have been a Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah, and
like, why would you have, even if he's your brother, that dude is so dumb. Like, they want to make him so dumb, he's always eating in every scene. And you might be wondering, well, what's the connection? Dude, when you're talking about, like, dangerous chemicals and monsters that could destroy the world and how the government might be on your ass, if a dude just walks up halfway eating a sandwich, it's like, you dumb motherfucker, like, don't you know what's going on right now?
It's like, I feel like he's basically, like, childish, I think.
Very, yeah.
Because, like, he wasn't just eating, like, a sandwich. He was eating a Pop-Tart.
There was again,
yes,
like I said, every scene, he's eating something.
And
he eats like Negan leans.
And you pointed out, like, the Rampage arcade game is in the background. I'm like...
On 2 different walls.
Yeah, and I'm like... I kind of feel like that this guy deliberately named this project after the video game.
He said the project is Project Rampage. And I was like, why would you name your project Rampage? And then the background of their office on 2 different walls is the Rampage arcade machine. And I was just like, what world are we living in? What world are we in where the Rampage game exists, but the Rampage thing is happening in real life? I mean, there was a moment in here in which, okay, first off, the grill is George, but there's a moment after the wolf is discovered and Negan comes up and is like, yeah, the wackos online have dubbed this guy Ralph. And it's like, okay, first off, no, the wackos online would not call him that. Wackos online would call him Deathbang or something like that. But why would they call Ralph? Like, you would have to say, like, yeah, it was some weird meme or something. Like, you'd have to give, like, some kind of an explanation.
Like, I figure, like, if it were up to me, I would be like, that is like a wildlife conservation, and the wolf's name is Ralph, or something like that.
Something like that. There is a way to explain it, but it's like...
But like, they didn't. They just took the dumb way out.
Yeah, the dumbest, cheapest way out of it. And
they didn't even, like, give the crocodile, alligator
They never
his
say
name.
the alligator's name. Yeah, never say it. Which, by the way, in the video game, it's not even a crocodile. It's an iguana, which is why it's, like, called Lizzie or
Iggy or something.
Lizzie, I think it is.
Lizzie, okay.
But yeah, like, it's just a basic average reptile. And the weird thing to me is, when we were watching this, we thought, could there be a sequel? Because I think that there were other monsters in later games. I looked it up right before we started doing this. On the Rampage 2 game that I played on the Nintendo system, yeah, there were other ones. I was like, yeah, I think I remember like a mouse and a rhino in there. Okay, that makes sense. And there's a mouse at the beginning. So it's like, okay, that's a reference to that. And okay, in the sequel, you can put a rhino in there. They made another one on the GameCube, I think it was. There's like 50 monsters in that goddamn thing. So there's tons of places to go with it. And in that one, there is a crocodile called Croc. It's not like random lizard like Lizzie was. It's a full-on crocodile. So it's like, could this have been like just Croc? Could this have been what it was?
Maybe. But it's like, I understand why they chose alligator because, you know, the canister landed in the Everglades. That's where alligators live.
Also, if you need someone to be the big bad boss at the end of this, you have a gorilla, you have wolf, iguana, like random gecko
really.
lizard thing is not gonna fit.
It's not,
alligator at worst, so it makes sense. But what the fuck were we talking about here a second ago? But okay, yeah. So the evil organization, like when he says they named him Ralph, the wackos online named him Ralph, I was like, that doesn't. They wouldn't name him that. Wait, unless this is in the world where where the Rampage video game does exist, then they could go, hey, you know what giant wolf monster exists in pop culture? Ralph. I guess, so yeah, it's a weird thing that I kept like thinking about the entire thing because it's not like a quick Easter egg. It's in the office where we keep coming back to over and over again, and it's on 2 different walls, so there's no way you can miss it. And I'm like, okay, that goes beyond Easter egg. We're now in a world where that's a thing.
Yeah, it's like, oh, hey, let's create this chemical that'll bring these monsters in the video game to life.
Yeah,
it's like,
and that's the other thing. This evil organization, they never fucking explain what their end goal is with this.
No, it's like they just
not like we're going to sell this to like an enemy nation.
Weapons. They're just using biological weapons.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, are they gonna make BOWs? Or what are you going to do here? You gonna make
but like that's the reason why the doctor lady quit. Like,
yeah, but again, it's like, how do you monetize this? Like, I don't understand the end goal on this product. Is it going to be like are you trying to like use it for like farming and just trying to make like a growth hormone for cows and pigs to create bigger meat? It's like, I don't know what you're doing with this.
Just send wild animals to like invade other countries or something like that. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Again, like, that's how fucking basic this movie is. It's like, they're clearly evil. Fuck it, they have to be stopped. Well, what's their, I mean, they're assholes, but what's their end goal? What are they doing that makes them evil? Yeah, she's a mean lady, you know, it's fine. She's a mean lady with a dumb sidekick, you know, clearly like cartoon Saturday morning Superdome. It's like, alright, but whatever, I don't care.
Honestly, this could be like, this could easily like be like a Saturday morning cartoon spin-off.
It so feels like it.
Like, especially like if this was like in the 90s or something where like that kind
Remember when they made that Godzilla Saturday morning cartoon?
Exactly. Like,
I kept thinking about that all throughout this. And not just because in my mind I was like, this is way better than that Godzilla film that America made.
No, it's like, but like, it would be perfect if this was in the 90s because that's when like all those action cartoons are on TV and they want to like sell toys.
That's when if you had a movie that any child out there ever said, I like that, a studio exec heard it like sonar. Yeah. I was like, make that into a cartoon. There's a fucking RoboCop cartoon when I was a kid. And that was rated R and opens up with a man being blown to smithereens. Graphically. Yeah, so in the 90s, this absolutely would have been a cartoon. But I could see Cartoon Network even like picking this up and being like, yeah, no, we're gonna do this. We're gonna make this a thing.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I'd probably watch it.
I wouldn't mind watching it either. It sounds fun.
You couldn't get The Rock to star in it though, but Terry Crews is already doing a Cartoon Network show. You can see Terry Crews taking this spot, taking the job. But okay, so up until this point, the bond between Rock and George, nice. Rock, hey, Rock is always charming. Everybody, you know, scientist lady, good scientist lady, she's alright. Everybody else in here is either a cartoon or fucking pointless.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my god, and huge chunks of plot just aren't explained. It's not even shot all that cleverly, because like, there's moments in here in which it is night, very next scene, broad daylight.
Yeah, that kind of confused me too. It's
like,
in here. Yeah, it's like, oh, night vision. Then suddenly it's like daytime. It's like, oh, so why was there night vision?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not even like next scene, sun rising. No, man, people are already like on their lunch break in the next shot. Yeah, there's stuff like that in here. But
I guess they thought it would look cool in night vision. Like
that's absolutely what it is. This entire film is we thought it would look cool. Here's the thing though. This is Rampage. This is not some big great story. This is not some like dramatic characters that we all got attached to and we want to make sure that they pay tribute to it. The entire point of Rampage was you played as a monster and you just try to destroy the city, and then at the end, whichever of you destroyed the most of the city won.
Mm-hmm.
When it gets through the last, I thought it was going to be the last 10 minutes of this film. It's easily the last half hour, if not like 40 minutes or more. When it gets to the last act of this film, which is the monsters are rampaging through the city. Oh my god, this thing is fun!
Yes, when the monsters actually, like, do what they do in the video game, then it's awesome, like...
In fact, in all honesty, even leading up to this moment, it's not bad. Watching the wolf tear through all these soldiers, that's pretty cool. Like I said, you kind of, even if the characters are cartoons, they're kind of entertaining cartoons. I mean, yeah, they're
I mean, like, the whole reason why they go to the city, Chicago, to be more specific, is because that's where, like, the big evil corporation is, and it's like, oh, well,
and their brilliant plan.
Their brilliant plan to stop these monsters is to send out, like, a sonar signal that'll upset them and come straight towards the city.
It's basically like a dog whistle that says, come here, come here. And they're being driven there to destroy this giant thing at the top of a tower. Again, the point of Rampage was climb up towers, punch in through the buildings, and eat people.
Yeah.
They get to the end of this thing, and this film actually came up with a good excuse for why the monsters have to climb a building and punch their way up there. And it just makes me think of how many other video game movies cram so hard in there the game mechanics into the plot. It's like, we're not coming here to watch the game mechanics get interpreted. We're coming here to see a film adaptation of the game, which means story, character, stuff like that. This is something which doesn't have either of those things. All it has is game mechanics, and they actually found a good way in the story to explain why they would do that. Because, like, the evil lady was just like, yeah, I don't care if the city gets destroyed. I just want them to come here. The military will destroy them on our front door. Then while the military's busy, bloop, get a little bit of a sample of it. And like, okay, this makes sense, I guess. And even if your plan fails, you don't care if the city gets destroyed. You'll just helicopter out there. And basically, they find a cure for the aggression that this disease causes. It doesn't cause them to stop growing or, like, shrink them down to their original size. It just causes them to stop being aggressive. And they have to figure out a way to get George to swallow it. And the evil lady, which, by the way, this is just sums up the type of movie this is. There's a moment in which they have the cures, and the evil lady, her brother is holding a gun at them, and she goes, yeah, we're not coming with you. And she goes, can I see that? She takes the gun and instantly shoots the rock. The rock falls over. No. And then she takes the scientist lady with her. Then at the end, when they're about to like get on the helicopter, the rock just comes in and saves the thing. And then she goes, I thought she killed you. And goes, I think she missed all the vital organs, but I don't want to jinx it. And I was like, perfectly fine. And I'm like, yeah, I think, it kind of hurts. I'm like, no, he is just like regular ass The Rock, like not even damaged.
I'm okay. It's like, just a flesh wound.
And yeah, it was just like, his explanation for getting shot in the gut and being totally okay is, I think she missed all the vital organs. Fine, fuck it.
Fine.
But the thing is, there is a way to explain it, because they say that they also, these animals get like enhanced regeneration. They do have a healing factor. And at the beginning of this, when the scientist lady comes in and he's holding in a plastic bag the container they found, she goes, please tell me you checked to make sure that there wasn't residual contamination still left on there. Oh, of course I did. Make sure to check and see if there's still residual contamination there. You can come back and like have her like lift up his shirt and show like the bullet wound slowly closing. It's like, oh my god, the residual contamination. I guess you touched it soon enough afterwards. You're not growing, but you're healing a little bit. It's made you strong, just strong enough to survive. They could have explained it. Nah, fuck that shit. Just, it's The Rock. He's fine. Which, in all fairness, if anybody out there could probably take a bullet and be okay, it's The Rock. The Rock probably could just bounce that shit off of him. That dude, he gets bigger in every goddamn film. He has to star next to giant apes. It's the only actor out there that can make him seem smaller.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's exactly how they explain that away. Just, fine, I'm fine. Fine, whatever. That's the type of film this is. But they have to figure out a way to get George to eat this thing, and George is now rampaging up there on the top of the building, breaking down the tower, and then George is trying to attack them, and then the scientist lady takes the cure, shoves it in the purse of the evil scientist lady, and then pushes her in the direction of George. George grabs her and eats her whole with the purse, and I was like, oh my god, they found a way to fit, you have to eat human beings in the game to get power-ups. That's how you got higher scores in the game. You grab people out of the buildings and ate them. They found an actual reason to explain why they would do that in this movie, and I was like, oh my god, how are you doing this better than all the other video game movies out there? And then George is okay, the tower falls down once all the monsters are up there, and it's kind of like, again, it is just, this is Fast and the Furious with giant monsters. Because you know all the stupid shit that they do with cars in the Fast and Furious movies? They do that in this film, like with that helicopter, the tail is broken, and they're like, we need a tail to fly, we can't get up to it. It's like, we're not gonna fly. We're just gonna crash it. And like the building starts toppling over and gets the propeller spin, and as the building falls, they kind of start like gliding just barely off the top of it, so they're able to barely like not fall with the building, but just like skid across the top of it. And I was like, I don't know if that would work, but why am I questioning logic on this? Like, this is a movie where if you're questioning logic, you're kind of the asshole.
It's like, even though there is a lot of nonsense in here, there's very few things they do explain actually work.
Yes! Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's like, cause like The Rock, before he became like a zookeeper, he was in the military. So,
of course he was.
So that not only explains why he's so buff, but it also explains why he's able to fly a helicopter.
Yeah, exactly. Which I find it humorous that he played a helicopter pilot in San Andreas, which was also directed by this exact same director. Like they even advertised this as from the director of San Andreas, and I was like, I don't think you realize no one cared about that film. But when you see The Rock in here also flying a helicopter, I was like, is this the same like cinematic universe? Is this the same dude? But yeah, they explain that he used to be special forces, and then after fighting a couple wars, he decided to dedicate his time to going and stopping poachers all around the world, and that's where he met George. And he was like, yeah, I've gone just killed a bunch of poachers before, and I was like, okay, cool. It works. Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's just the amount of information you need to be able to go, well, how is he? Oh, okay, I guess so. All right, fine, whatever. Which there's a moment in here in which he takes someone out by choking them out, and he does like some military moves on them. And I was just like, yeah, I am actually really glad. Why are you trying to dig through the floor, Peach? I am really glad that they actually explained that he did have special forces training, because man, even though I'm just going along with this movie at this point, even I would be like, how does a zookeeper know how to do that? Yeah,
I mean, there's like only so much you're able to like let slide, basically.
But when they explain his backstory, I was like, all right,
yeah,
fine.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. Come on, Peach, stop digging through the floor. No.
She's trying to smash through the building and eat the residents.
Peach, I think you're too small yet. By the way, this little guy, not only can she now jump on the couch, she jumped on your desk recently.
Yeah, like she was, like
she's got that weird growth hormone going on her.
Yeah, like I just had her in my lap and we were just chilling out, then suddenly she just jumped on my desk like, oh crap.
This is the thing we have to worry about now. But so after the building crashes, George is now okay, and The Rock grabs a grenade launcher out of a military car, tells the scientist lady, go find Negan, let him know that they have to stop the bombing of the city that they're going to do, so they have a ticking time bomb situation too. And George is okay, and I was like, alright George, we're gonna kick some ass.
Yeah.
And it's now like, okay, we keep talking about how The Rock is huge. Oh my god, you're getting bigger and bigger. No. We keep talking about how The Rock is huge. I couldn't help but laugh at the shot of George and The Rock going up to challenge the giant crocodile and wolf, because I was like, Rock, this is the only time in my life I can say this. You are too tiny for this.
And he didn't realize that
insignificant. Like deep, 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 deep.
And I think it's like he didn't realize that until like the alligator like started charging, and he's like, "Oh shit!"
That was a great reaction of him. That was a great reaction when the alligator actually starts charging him. He's like, "Oh shit!" And it was just like,
now
you realize how stupid of a plan this was. But yes, the end of this film is nothing but George literally going ape as he just beats the shit out of this wolf and crocodile, and the three of them are fighting each other. It's fucking awesome!
It is.
I just spat a huge...
I saw that.
Man, I am salivating thinking about the ending of this film. It's fucking fantastic! Like, I mentioned the American Godzilla a moment ago and how much better this is than that, and I, of course, meant the Matthew Broderick one, but I gotta bring up the most recent one, too.
Yeah, like,
because that movie you can compare it so much to this one because that movie was also dumb as fuck. Not because of Godzilla or any of the stuff going into that. Anytime that you actually started following like the people whose job it was to track Godzilla and they're like, here's what's going on with Godzilla, it's like, that's pretty intriguing. I want to learn more. Oh, now but boring military dude. Okay. Oh my god, Godzilla just showed up and oh, now we're back to boring military dude. Oh, now we're cutting to some guy just watching TV. Fine. But then the last 10 fucking minutes in that movie, when it actually became a Godzilla film, it was fucking awesome. This movie, it's really stupid, but it's kind of entertainingly stupid all throughout it. And you actually do kind of like The Rock and want to keep following him around. And then the ending of this film, which is the big action shit, that goes on for way longer than the Godzilla one did.
Yeah, it's like, after, like, the big disappointment of Pacific Rim Uprising...
We can also bring that up.
Yeah, it's like, oh, finally, a giant monster action movie where, like, shit is going on, and it's like, I really am entertained by it.
Yeah, because, again, going back to the last Pacific Rim film, that film was really stupid, but it didn't realize it. That film was like, you think this is awesome, right? Oh, check out all these cool character modes. I hate all these characters. All these characters suck. They're all bad. Oh, but all this stuff about who's the evil one behind, I don't care. Well, what about this new Yeg? I don't care. This is all stupid, and you think it's awesome. You think it's the coolest thing ever, and it's just stupid. This film is dumb, and it's like, yeah, and we are slamming head first into that. We're gonna make it dumb and awesome. It's like, okay, I can kind of chill with how dumb this is. This is like a movie that embraces the dumbness can actually have fun with it.
It's like, you guys are here for giant monsters. We're gonna give you giant monsters.
And the actual fight scene, like, I'm not just applauding this because, yay, big monkey doing things. It's actually legitimately good monster fights at the end of this. The ending of this film is damn good. Like, I was shocked how much I was enjoying this. There is a moment in which the crocodile, whatever it is, alligator crocodile? Yeah. I don't know which it is. I think it's alligator because the mouth was bigger.
Alligator, because I know alligators live in Florida, not crocodiles, but
that's
yeah.
True. Okay, so there's a moment at the end where the alligator, like, throws George across the sea, and he slams into a giant beam, and the beam is going through his shoulder, and I literally went, oh!
Not only you, but, like, the entire audience, we're all like,
yeah, I was like, man, people have been making fun of the trailer for Rampage of, like, seeing The Rock just shout, George! Fuck, man, I was doing it at the end of this. No, George, I actually care about you.
Yes, it's like
I care more about this albino gorilla monster than I did about anybody in fucking Pacific Rim Uprising.
Exactly, and like, that's where, like, that's what makes it so good. Like, you care about the characters that actually matter. Like, maybe you don't really care much about, like, the side characters, but you care about George and The Rock, and, like, those are the two ones you should be caring about.
Yeah,
like,
and like I said, even the side characters, you don't give a shit, but they're fun.
Yeah, they're entertaining.
I mean, Negan is the biggest fucking cartoon in this. and at first I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be painful to sit through. Towards the end, I was like, fuck, man, I'm kind of laughing with this guy now at this point. I mean, at the end of this film, man, Jesus Christ, Negan has teleporting powers at the end of this film. Because anywhere they need him, he is fucking there at the end of this film. Like, but he's kind of like charming towards the end of this. Like, at the beginning, I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me with this performance. Towards the end of it, I was digging it.
Like,
I mean, at the end of this film, when the evil lady has been eaten and her brother is trying to escape, he runs to the bottom of this building and he's running out there with the laptop with all the data. Negan's just there. He just happens to be there now. Amonio, who's at a military base far away from here, but now he's just here. And he's just like, well, damn, son, did you just run down 80 flights of stairs? Well, I was coming to arrest you, but I'm mighty impressed by that. I was like, god damn, I'm kind of enjoying this redneck cowboy banter he's doing right now.
It's like, and the thing is, like, in the beginning, you think, oh, this guy's gonna be a douchebag asshole who's gonna be against our heroes, but eventually, yeah, like, he turns over to our side. It's like, I want to stop these monsters just as much as you do. Like,
yeah, like, when it was like, god damn, you're going to be the guy who's gonna be, like, standing in our way, alright, yeah, I can't take you seriously. When he's, like, the helpful cowboy guy who's there, like, alright, I kind of like you now, okay? But yeah, and like, he just basically like, again, it's one of those things where he tells the guy he's gonna let him go if he just gives her a laptop. And he's like, all right, sure, fine. Fine by me. Great. How about you? Give me that pet rat you got there. Fine. You know what? I never liked this thing anyways. Cool. All right, now just run out that front door. We all know what's going to happen with that because we saw Negan look out the door and see little bits of debris falling, and he was like, okay, he'll go out there. And like in my mind, I was like, how on earth did you plan for a chunk? How did you know that chunk of debris would hit him? Because it's not constantly falling. He could have run out there and nothing would hit him. But when he runs out the front door of this thing, a fucking chunk of debris the size of a tank falls on him. And even Negan goes, oh, that was bigger than I thought. And I was just like, God damn it, it's fun. It's fucking stupid fun. But the fight scenes with fucking George and Ralph and Lizzie are amazing at the end of this. And they shock you in that fight scene too, because you're thinking like, okay, the wolf is gonna be, we've been following the wolf this whole time. Again, spoilers and all that for anybody, but the wolf is decapitated by the alligator quick. Which makes me think that I think you might have been right about what they were planning to do with the alligator. Try and make it like, you know, like, oh, you're all looking at the wolf. Here comes the big guy here in the end. Because, like, the alligator's the one that takes out the wolf.
Also, you don't see the alligator as much as the other, so you don't see how big he's gotten until, like, the final end, like, the finale, so...
it was far more shocking. Like, the wolf was kind of cool looking.
It was cool, but it's like, the alligator like,
stole the show.
That's like King Kong versus Godzilla shit, almost, practically.
No, oh, gosh, someone out there knows, but there is there's a monster that Godzilla used to fight all the time, and it looks just like this crocodile. Like, it was, like, four-legged creature, big spike back, big, like, mace-looking tail. I don't remember what it was called, but yeah, it reminded me a lot of the alligator in here. But yeah, man, it was so insanely fun at the end of this. And yeah, again, dialogue is stupid as crap in this. The supporting characters are either cartoons or just really bland and bad. But god damn it, man, it's fun. It's really, really fun. And this thing right now, it's got like a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's like right there. And I keep looking at that and it's like, I think that people like I think honestly if you had called this Fast and the Furious, people would have been applauding this nonstop.
More like Fast and the Furious.
Yeah. But no, those Fast and the Furious films, they're dumb as shit. Absolutely stupid. But people eat them up and they get great critical response. And I think it's because the critics have like allowed themselves to say it's okay. Like critics so don't want to applaud dumb popcorn films. It's like, well, I don't want to look like I'm losing my credentials here. I don't want to look like I like a dumb film, but the Fast and the Furious films are the ones where they like go, well, you know, there's actually like an art form to its stupidity, and like, well, all the stunts that they pull off, it's really quite impressive. So when you judge it like that, and that feeling of family, you get a bond between all these characters. I don't give a shit about the Fast and the Furious films, because I don't give a shit about cars. I don't. You can do the coolest car stunt scenes ever. I'm not going to care. I do like big monsters, though.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, all that we're family shit that everybody applauds in the Fast and Furious films, I'm kind of getting that between George and The Rock in this. And again, the characters in Fast and Furious films, they're all dumb cartoon characters too. There's dumb cartoon characters in this one as well. And the freaking stunts that everybody loves in the Fast and Furious films, everybody thinks is so crazy and impressive. This is some insanely impressive giant monster actions in here. So yeah, you can come in here and tell me that, oh, you like a dumb film. I don't give a shit. We all love dumb films. It's healthy to love dumb films every now and again. Yes, you should see good stuff out there. You should see the actual well-made cinematic masterpieces that elevate your intelligence and your understanding of the medium to a whole nother level. You should see that from time to time. Just like you should also eat a nice big kale salad all the time. But you know what? Every now and again you just need a fucking cheeseburger. This is a cheeseburger! And so often the cheeseburger movies out there are fucking awful. So often the cheeseburger movies, they're not cooked right. You ask them to hold the mayonnaise and it's fucking slathered in that shit. Like the meat is cold, it's just been sitting there for too long. This is a damn good cheeseburger.
I like how most of our movie reviews end up like being compared to food.
I actually at one point wanted to create a channel that for all the movie reviews, and it would all be based around food. Like the rating system would be based around food, like the metaphors for it would be food. I even kind of tried that a little bit on the channel for a while. But yeah, I don't know why, but that's just how my mind works when it comes to movies. Like, I compare everything to food. But yeah, man, this film is insanely fun.
Yeah.
I can't, in all honesty, call it a good film by the standards of, like, how movies are made, but it's enjoyable as fuck. It's an insanely enjoyable film. This is, you summed it up when we were walking out of the theater. You said, this is a great popcorn film. Yes, I think people forget there is such a thing as popcorn films. There are such things as it's summer, the air conditioner's broken, I want to go and sit in a theater where I can just have dumb fun. That's what this fucking is. And it's good at that. So yeah, man, I had a blast in this film.
So did I.
Again, I'm not gonna come in here and say, oh, there now finally has been a good video game movie. Because I feel like then you need something that it's story-based. It's not action-based. You need something where people show, okay, we can write three-dimensional characters, aside from The Rock. We can write a really good story. We can write many rich characters. You need something like that before you can say, video game movies now are good. They have now made a good one. But fuck, I can finally come in here and say they made an enjoyable one.
Yeah.
Not since the first Mortal Kombat has there been an actual enjoyable video game movie. And in all honesty, we reviewed Tomb Raider a couple weeks back, and it wasn't good, but it was very okay. It was very passable. It was an alright film, which again, by video game movie comparisons, goes a long way. So yeah, this is the best year we've had for video game movies so far. This is a fun-ass film, I gotta admit. So yeah, again, it's dumb. Again, for anybody who's going to say, like, oh, well, I just found all of this to be too... Yeah. Listen, I understand if you don't like this. But if you just like big monsters punching each other, this is way better than most of the films we get out there for that. And I'm not even, like, just saying that as in, like, well, because it's better than the crap, it instantly makes it good. Again, this is actually just fun. I enjoyed this. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Next week, I don't even know what the hell we're reviewing next week, because next week was supposed to be this. This was going to come out on 4/20, because they were smart. But then Avengers bumped up a week, and they were like, shit, cancel that. So all that's coming out next week is Super Troopers, which I never saw the first one.
Yeah, me neither.
So I don't know if I should review that one.
Yeah, it's like, I was kind of hoping to see Rampage for my birthday.
Yeah.
But since it's a week early, I guess I'll find something else to do.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is like we were talking about it, it's like, I guess I'll go see Dave & Buster's, and then we were watching the movie.
Oh shit, you're right.
And George just comes up and like punches a building with a Dave & Buster logo.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, perfect timing.
Yeah. Oh shit, you want to talk about perfect timing? There's a scene in here, I talk about the dumb stuff that is in this film. There's a scene in here in which they are trying to get information from the evil company, but the FBI just came in before that and just raided the whole place and just took all their hard drives, and so they didn't find the hard drive that they needed to get the information on how to cure George. But she went, wait, they would never have thought to check the thermostat. The smart thermostat has we can use this to create a backdoor into their system and get the information. I went, no fucking way would that work. I swear to God, I'm not making this up. When I got out of the theater, the first thing that I saw on Twitter, I have to bring this up. The very first thing I found on Twitter was a news story about hackers exploit casinos' smart thermometer to steal database info. I swear to you,
so that dumb thing is actually something that can happen.
It's actually a thing that exists. It's real. So, yeah, wow. But yeah, so I had fun. But yeah, next week, I don't know if we'll do Super Troopers, because yeah, I just haven't seen the first one.
Yeah.
And the only other thing coming out is that Amy Schumer film, I Feel Pretty, which I don't know how many people in my audience want me to review that, but I guess I'll find something to review next week.
I don't know. We'll find something.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Wap. maybe we'll just review this again. Oh, you know what we could do next week? We could review the previous Marvel films.
Oh.
I wanted to do this in the week leading up to it. I wanted to watch all the Marvel films back to back to back to back to back. I mean, that's 18 fucking films.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to cram a lot in there.
Who knows, maybe we'll do another Marvel movie marathon.
We're not going to the theater for that. No one's doing that. I remember when we did that for Age of Ultron and it lasted for a day and a half. People were sleeping on the floor of that movie theater.
It's like, maybe we shouldn't do that next time.
For this one, yeah, when we came out of it, we were like, that was fun. When we saw it for the first Avengers, it was great.
Yeah.
This one, not quite as enjoyable. It would be fucking torture sitting in a movie theater for, what would it be, 2.5 days at this point?
Probably.
Yeah, so we ain't doing that. But we might do it here at home. And honestly, I think people would dig that if we just did post-Geekout reactions for every single Marvel film leading up to it.
I was wondering if we could do like a live stream, like do a live stream after like every movie, and then like do the next one.
I kind of like that. We might do that. So yeah, if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe here. But also subscribe to me on Twitch, because if we do a live stream of them, that's probably where we'd end up doing it. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Come back next week.
Yes, now it's our turn to feed our little monster.
Yeah, jeez. You might have noticed all the cuts we had here. It's because Peach cannot be contained.
Alright, Peach, time for dinner.
Bye.